Hey guys, welcome back to Rusty Guns. So today's video, we all know that shooting can be kind of expensive because you have your rounds, you have your gun, all that stuff. But also another expense that a lot of people fail to take into consideration are targets. So is there a cheap way to do targets? Well, I'm going to show you a few. So one of the targets that most people end up buying are these right here. They're kind of reactive targets in that when you shoot them, the outside edge of where the round goes through will change color. It might be orange or bright yellow, green, or a white, something like that. They are adhesive, so you peel them off and then you can stick them on your cardboard or whatever. So they're good in that aspect. But you don't get very many of these for the amount of money you spend, especially depending on the size of the ones that you get. So I'm going to show you some ways to have kind of reactive targets, but not break your wallet so you can put more money in your ammo and your guns rather than the stuff that you're shooting. So let's get rid of this. So one of my most favorite are these, the clay pigeon, because you can set these up virtually anywhere. You can put them, hang them off of nails. They even have little stands that you can buy to put these on or whatever. Sometimes I just use a stick and hang them off the edge of a stick or whatever. But they're kind of reactive in that they'll shatter when you hit them. And you can shoot them with anything. You can shoot them with 22s, you can shoot them with rifles, shotguns, doesn't matter. And you still get that kind of same effect. But the cool thing about these is you can buy a case of these, which I think is like 80 or 90 of these in a case, and it's going to run you like $8. I mean, that's quite a bit, and that's a pretty good value. Now, the bad part about these is they do shatter and they get all over the place. So if you have the property where that's not a big deal, then, man, buy these and shoot them up. And, every once in a while you just break out a rake and rake up the pieces and pile them up and toss them in the trash or whatever. But these are awesome. I love shooting these. So the next one are these. These are kind of reactive targets in that they bounce back like that, but they're made out of a thick rubber material, and the rounds will go through them, and you can shoot them hundreds of times before you eventually have to get rid of it. But if you go up from this, you're basically buying steel, and you get that ping sound, and the steel lasts forever. But they're heavy, they're expensive, that kind of thing. But this is always an option if you need it. One of the things you can use in your home, things that my boys and I like to make sometimes, we just simply use cornstarch. And with cornstarch and water, you can make what's called oobleck. It's a liquid until it gets hit really hard and it turns to a solid. But then it turns back to liquid form again. So it's a really cool thing you can fill up balloons with or jars or whatever. Really cool effect, and it's cornstarch and water. It's not going to hurt anything. It's basically environmental safe, So that's always an option. If you haven't seen oobleck, go check out some videos on oobleck. You'll really like it. Next, one of the target things that I do buy I like these things. These are called shot spots, okay? And you get several different sizes on a piece of paper. But I like them because you can just take one of these off and you can stick it on anything, it doesn't matter. And you have kind of a spot that you're aiming at then, and then you can see where your rounds are hitting. One of the things I like to do with these, and is how I make some of my targets, is I'll do something just as simple as this. I basically make, a little grid pattern, and I'll put one of those in the center, and that's what I shoot at. And then, if you're using a ruler and you make these like I did in like 1-inch squares, then you can really zero in on what you're trying to shoot at, because you have 1-inch increments. So really good, really useful, and you can make a whole lot more targets like this than you can of the other kind. And white paper is one of my favorite to use because when rounds hit white or a lot of lighter colors, they'll leave like that carbon mark around where the round hit, so it's really easy to distinguish where the round actually hit at. So very good thing to do. So last, and everybody's favorite of course, is Tannerite. Now you spend your money, your $30 or whatever, and you get a few pounds of Tannerite, and you're saying, well, you get like 6 bottles of it and you're done. Well, that's not the case. That's the case if you want to make big explosions and you just want to shoot it and make something really big blow up and then you're done. But you can make a lot of smaller explosions using your Tannerite. One of the things I like to do is, if I'm doing smaller explosions, is I'll use things like old medicine bottles. I'll fill those up. You can fill up, you know, virtually any kind of a small jar or anything. You can even make packets so that you fill up a Ziploc bag, okay, a small Ziploc sandwich bag with a certain amount, fold it over a few times, make it into like a little square packet. Though it'll blow up just as well inside those as it will in this. So you can make various different sizes. So you can make it last a lot longer than just, you know, having 6 jars and 6 shots and you're done. So another really good way to make the Tannerite go a little bit farther. So those are some of my favorite things that I use. Of course, everybody uses the water jugs and soda cans, things like that. If you're using soda cans, don't use, you know, Coke or Pepsi or something expensive. Go down to, you know, Sam's Club or Walmart and buy, or anywhere, and buy, you know, the 25-cent sodas or the 10-cent soda cans or whatever. Use those. I mean, they do just as good a job, and it's just as much fun, and you can shoot a lot more. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any good tips on targets that you do that are super cheap and inexpensive, put them down in the comments below. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys. Take care. I'll see you next time.